What can you tell us about the elections?
When you are saying, I need to pick the candidate that's right and the other one is wrong, and you go into fear about what if your candidate doesn't get elected, or let's say your candidate doesn't get elected, and then you go into internal chaos worrying about what might happen in the next 4 years, you are not in your power. So every moment that you're giving your attention to the unwanted and entangling with fear, you are not participating in creating the world that you want to live in. You can either be contributing to the fear or creating the new. There's so much more going on here. This is about the great awakening that's taking place on your planet right now. Even though the president of the United States has...
Are you ready to shine? Shine bright. Woo-hoo! Hi, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Michael Sandler, your host on Inspire Nation. If you've ever been wondering why in the world so much appears to be blowing up, oh God, then do we have the Sara Landon and the Council show for you. Today, I'll be talking with Sara Landon, transformational leader, teacher, channel of the council, and the author of a beautiful book, The Wisdom of the Council. And that's just what I want to talk with her about today. What's going on in the world, our shifting consciousness, and will we make it through these challenging times? So welcome back to the show, Sara. Are you ready to shine?
Absolutely. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me back, Michael. I love the Inspire Nation community, and I'm really looking forward to this conversation.
Well, then I've got to go, Mighty. Woohoo! All right. Yay. Before we dive right into things, I can't believe I'm going to lead it off on this note, though. We've got Florida. We've got Florida. We've got the Middle East. We've got Ukraine. We've got politics. We've got all of this stuff. We've got Helene. Why is humanity getting so many storms and floods lately, Sara?
Well, first off, I really have tremendous compassion for everything that is going on in the world. I know it feels like every time you turn on the news, there's something else going on, or why can't we have peace in these places, or what's going on with the weather, right? And I want to first preference it with we have more consciousness on our planet than ever before. We have more love on our planet than ever before. We have more well-being on our planet than ever before, more compassion, more kindness, more generosity. And so I encourage you in these moments to reconnect to yourself and remember that in any moment, no matter what is going on around you, you can come back into your power in this moment and realign yourself to your true nature, which is peace, harmony, love, well-being. And in that moment, that is what you are contributing to our beloved collective human family. And so yes, these are challenging times for so many people. And we are also in the midst of this great awakening that is occurring on our planet at this time. And so I don't know about you, Michael, but I'll speak for myself.
Yeah.
My own personal awakening was quite turbulent. It included a cancer diagnosis, the death of my brother, the end of my marriage, leaving a place that I loved, the home I had built, to go to where I felt I was called to be, leaving a corporate career. And it was a very difficult time in my life. And I have so much compassion for everyone who's going through that. But our souls ultimately are on this journey, and we are here on earth at this time to fully awaken ourselves, to come into realization of all that you are, the realization of all that you are, embodied enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, and understand that this is part of why we've chosen to come here during this time, is because of what is going on the planet at this time. And we didn't come here to get entangled in the fear and the overwhelm and the anxiety and give our power away and contribute to the powerlessness on this planet. We came here to remember our power and to be in our power during these challenging times and this great awakening that's occurring on the planet at this time. I personally will tell you, we're recording this a couple of days after Helene and excuse me, or Hurricane Milton, and a few days, a week or two after Helene. And I was very, very affected a couple of nights ago with so much emotion and everything that I had seen on social media, the impacts that occurred in North Carolina and nearby areas with Hurricane Helene. And at that point in time, Hurricane Milton was predicted to be a Category 5 hurricane. And this love that I have rarely ever felt in my human body and been able to describe just filled every cell of my body. And I was reminded that I came here because of my great love for humanity and my great love for the animals and my great love for this planet. And that this was the time to be that love and shine that light from a place of being in my power. And I will tell you, I had tears streaming down my face for almost an hour as I sent love to everyone. I sent love to the animals. I sent love to the earth. I sent love to the hurricane. I tuned into the animals. To know me is to know that I love animals. And I
Did you
know you
hear
do
about the
too.
did you hear about the birds in the eye of the storm?
Tell me, no.
Oh God. So this to me was the cool, and there's so many directions we get to riff off, and everybody, we're going to go to the council tonight about the elections, about everything coming up. So make sure to hang in there. But one of the early hurricane, and I'm a weather geek of weather geek of weather geeks. I don't pretend to be an expert at all. I'm very intuitive about these things, though, but I'm following it. And one of the earliest hurricane hunter flights into the eye, when it was just by the Yucatan, they found flocks of birds in the eye. And there was a link you could go to that said 71.2 million birds were migrating south, North America, at the time of Milton. And all of these birds got caught in the eye of the storm. And when the storm made it over to where the eastern edge of that storm got to the beaches by Sarasota and south of Tampa, oh, I'm going to cry. All these birds landed. They made it back to shore.
Oh,
And so it
wow.
was so cool to see in these weather forums. These are hard-nosed science geeks who are going, tell us about the birds. Did the birds make it? What about the birds? And the birds did make it. And we did see, and you're sending love. Our audience is sending love. Your audience is sending love. So many people are sending love. And the sucker, it was very serious. Let's make no mistake about it. But it also crumbled compared to what it could have been. And the birds made it, and other animals made it. And I mean, I didn't know until an hour before the show that the house we're going to be living in this year made it. Thank you.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
That's it
because
right there. Yeah.
we're creators. We don't realize our power. You've probably done this. I'm weird. I know you're weird, Sarah. Please forgive me. Jessica and I, when we got punted off of Maui years ago, which is a place where the shield is up because they go to their ancestors, they go to the elders, and almost all the storms fall apart because they know they're going to fall apart. That's why the Tampa Shield is held, because people know it exists. Thankfully, it held again. But we sat at her parents' place in New Jersey. We sat, I think, hanging out on the hood of the car. We couldn't even get the car licensed at the time. We didn't have enough funds. We have gotten our bootiest kickatus to the maximus as well as part of this awakening. And we sat and stared at the clouds and watched them melt away. We'd stare at a cloud long enough and watch it melt and stare another. That's the power we all have inside of us.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I tuned in to a message from Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene, and the message was, "You're so worried about my power. I'm here to help you remember yours. Stop losing your power to me. Stop giving your power to me. Stop focusing on how powerful I am and start focusing on how powerful you are." And this is what I saw. We talked about this before we went on air. I don't recall ever seeing such an outpouring of conscious, spiritual,
Thank you.
loving, evolved, enlightened people saying, see the love, see it as all is well. I saw this beautiful post that said, and I don't know if this is true or not, but but I believe it. Something in my heart just said, "Oh, that just rings and true." But it said, "Start ringing the church bells." Because the vibration of the church bells can help dissipate the storm. And tell me that that is not so conscious, so loving, so evolved, so aware of energy and tone and frequency and vibration and the impact it has. And again, it's a reminder of the power that you have.
Well, here's I can't believe I'm going to say it, but with my hair looking like a messed up, scraggly teen today. Hey, I've got having a bad hair year. It's all good. This is the hurricane. Um, we are the church bells.
We are the church
Our
bells. Yes.
vibration trumps any physical reality. Not that this isn't physical and, oh, we're all just, it's none of it's real. No, it is real while you're here. To step off of the curb, look both ways. At the same time, you hold a frequency, you hold a vibration, you have a note. And if you play that note at the highest octave, you literally change this reality. And so we get too caught up in the fear and the storms and the politics and the this and the that and forget our power, which is that song, which is that tonality.
Well, that's the ultimate answer to your first question that you asked, and oh, you answered it, we answered it together. But why is all this happening? So that people remember their power, all of it. That's why all of this is happening. And I'll share one more thing. I was sharing with you that I tuned in and I was feeling so much love and compassion for the animals and the videos I had seen of the impacts. And I knew several friends in Florida that were in the path of what was the Category 5 predicted at that time. And I really needed a message from the animals in that moment because I wasn't able to get to that grander perspective myself. So I tuned in and asked for a message from the animals that were affected by these hurricanes. And I couldn't have made it up. I could
Yeah.
not have anticipated the answer, but they said, we know who we are and we're exactly where we're choosing to be. We have chosen to be part of this experience. We have chosen the people that are called our owners or the stewards or the caregivers that are in our lives. And we are exactly where we have chosen to be during this experience. And it just brought me such peace. The message was a bit longer, and some of them said, "Indeed, we will make our transition during this, but that is why we came, and we may leave the density of our body in this experience." But they assured me that, and I had this dream about a month ago. I was standing on a tower in the middle of the ocean all by myself, and there was a wave coming towards me. And I knew it was going to take me out. And I knew this wave was bigger than the tower. And I knew that this was my transition. And as the wave got almost to me, I stood at the edge of the tower and I just fell backwards. And I was in total bliss, total peace. And then I woke up and I was reminded of that dream by the animals that that is how peaceful that is how peaceful the transition is in those experiences because your soul is free and in bliss before any impact is made that leads to a transition. And so I held up very, very, very deeply in my truth and my knowing as the hurricane hit. But I just have to say, well done to you, to your community, to all of us that are here living in this place of love. I truly believe that it is our consciousness, our vibration, our frequency, our love, all the things that were part of this experience that allowed it to dissipate to what became a Category 1 hurricane. And I know people lost their homes and people lost their lives and there was a lot of destruction. But wow, I'm so deeply touched by the consciousness that I witnessed, the love that I witnessed through these two recent hurricanes. Now, let's talk about how we can experience that much love and consciousness and being in our power when we approach these elections, right?
Yes. Although let me put two quick bookmarks. First off, I'm having an Ooga Booga moment because years ago when we were living on Maui, Jessica shared an almost identical dream with me. with her, with the giant tsunami coming, with the wave coming, it's going to crush her, it's going to take her away. She actually saw, I think, her parents singing or no, dancing or something on like a piece of wood being carried out in the water. And I think the wave was going to crush on her. And now this is me sharing somebody else's dream, which is really not doing justice. But she heard the most beautiful, angelic, ethereal music that just filled her heart and soul and kind of cracked her wide open. And so she thought the tsunami, when she woke up, was definitely coming because this dream was so real. But that's that plugging in to that greater thing that actually is us. And the second piece going from that dream is this. I'm going because I'm like, can I really share this? If you came to me, Sarah, if everybody on the show came to me for coaching, you don't need coaching, but if you came to me for coaching and you said, I had this happen, I had that happen, I had that happen, this storm came, this thing came, I would have to be very careful about what I say because deep inside of me, I'm going, on the one hand, that's awful. On the other hand, congratulations.
Yeah, I get
Excuse me.
that.
I don't even swear on my own show. Going down so we can go up. That's what's
Yes,
happening.
I absolutely understand and I agree and I get it totally. In fact, when I look back at my life and what I thought was falling apart, I know now that it was falling into place. And so when someone mentions all these things that are going on in their life, but truly in my heart, get excited for them because
Exactly.
I understand that in this moment it feels like everything's falling apart, but I promise you it is falling into place. You are going to live a life beyond your wildest dreams. You're going to look back at those things that are no longer part of your experience and see that they were replaced with something that is so much more aligned with your truth and your true nature. And just one final thing on Jessica's dream. I didn't hear anything, but the most notable thing about that dream, in addition to the bliss that I felt in that moment, I have never seen colors. I have never seen the sky as beautiful as it was in that moment that I pushed back from the tower and fell into the wave. The colors were indescribable. I've never seen anything as beautiful in all of my life. And I think that is a reminder to all of us that leaving the body is merely a transition into a level of consciousness that is pure bliss and so beautiful. And so when anyone that we love, an animal, a person transitions, take a moment and feel into the bliss that they are in. I've shared this story a couple of times, but most people would say they don't really like doing their taxes and dealing with their accountant. But I decided that I was going to have a 5D pure love, heaven on earth experience. And I was referred to this wonderful man who was not taking any more clients, but he was a beloved accountant of a friend of mine. And we became very good friends. In fact, the very first time I walked in, kind of terrified and a little intimidated, he's like, yeah. We'll get to your taxes and your accounting and all of that. But I want to talk about the council. He said, he
Oh,
said
sweet.
he had taught transformation and consciousness years ago. He was a leader for one of these organizations like Landmark or EST or one of those. And we would talk for hours about spirituality and consciousness. And so when he ended up making his transition, which is a beautiful story, but I tuned in for a message for him, and this only ever happened to me one time in my entire experience of connecting with thousands of people on the other side. I asked him for a message. I did the process that I share in my You Are a Channel book and tuned in and felt into his consciousness and knew he was there. And I saw a universe. And in the universe, there was a door. And he opened the door and he stuck his head out and he said, oh my God, it is so amazing here. It's like, you wouldn't believe it. It's so incredible. He's like, yes, I've got a message for you, but I'll give it to you later. It's just too amazing here. And he walked back into the universe and shut the door behind him. And that was the
That's
message.
cool.
So later, a few days or a week later, he ended up giving me a very beautiful message that was perfect. But There's just so much beauty here. The more we raise our consciousness, vibration, our frequency, live fully in our bodies on earth at this time, love fully, be all that you are, we can access those levels of bliss, love, the amazingness that is here in this life on earth at this time for us too.
See, I was going to save it for the last question, which is, can we bring heaven, or can we see heaven, or can we be heaven here on earth? May have
Oh,
just answered that.
absolutely. And I'm experiencing it almost every day, all the time. Nothing is worth my heaven on earth. And that is everything to me. Nothing is worth my heaven on earth. It, it, it means, I'll give you a really practical example, with your spouse or your significant other, when something sort of ticks you off, right? And for example, my house was just clean. He walked in with his shoes on. He didn't know they had dirt all over them, and I could see this trail that went all the way from the front door to the bedroom. And I went, nothing is worth my heaven on earth. Nothing is worth my heaven on earth. I can vacuum it up. He can vacuum it up. It's not worth my heaven on earth. I'm not going to take this personal. He didn't go, I'm going to walk in there on a clean floor and get dirt all over just to take her off. No, he would never. Uh, Also, who wins this election is not worth your heaven on earth. All of this negativity and division and separation, you do not have to entangle with it. It is not worth your heaven on earth. We have a very big election that many people know about going on right now in the United States, but there's elections going on all over right now. There's a lot
Huge
going
amount
on
of
in the world, as
elections.
we all know. And you can still be in your power and be in the truth of who you are. And in the moment, if it is choiceless for you to vote for a particular candidate, great. But first and foremost, you've got to choose yourself. You've got to choose what reality you want to live in. You've got to choose what world you're going to create to live in for yourself. You've got to choose your experience of heaven on earth. Neither candidate can give you heaven on earth. Only you can do that for yourself.
So I really want to go what you're hearing from the council, and let's go to the
Perfect.
horse's mouth. I can't believe I'm going to say that about the council. Hear me. But that's a hard concept for people you just shared. We have to choose our heaven on earth. What we're told by politicians of any party, and so many more, it's not just politicians, is that the leader out there dictates whether you can have heaven on earth, whether that's your religious organization, whether that's your political, whatever. We're always told it's something out there. And so this society, this world has, which is crumbling in a good way, has trained and entrained us that the power is not within. So when a lot of people are going to hear this and say, we can choose it, and they're going, no, I can't. How do we help with that?
Well, first off, there's three things that no one and nothing could ever take from you. First is your level of appreciation. Appreciation. Somebody could walk up, kick you in the shin. You can still choose to focus on everything you love, everything that brings you joy, everything that you appreciate, the good things that happened in that day, how blessed you are. Nothing and no one can ever take from you your ability to be in a state of deep appreciation for your life, for all that you have, for all that you've been given. Appreciation is so powerful. Number two, no one and nothing can ever take your vibration from you, ever. They can walk up and kick you in the shin, but you determine how you react to that. And you determine whether that's worth lowering your vibration into anger and fighting, or if you're going to stay in your power, in your heart, in your light, in a state of love, in a state of knowing the light that you are. And I would preference that with probably no one's going to walk up and kick you in the shin when you are emanating the bright, beautiful light that you are in the highest vibration, right? Third, no one and nothing can ever take from you your imagination. Your imagination is a state of consciousness as real as what you're calling your reality. It is what the council refers to as the sixth dimension of pure potential and possibility. It is a reality that is available to you, and you are literally exploring timelines of potentials and possibilities in your imagination until your light literally illuminates one of those realities so clearly that you literally move it into form as your reality. And so I'll give you an example. Uh, Many years ago, I was in a very challenging relationship. I wasn't living in the place that I wanted to live, and I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, like sharing the counsel's wisdom with the world. But every day I imagined that I was. And I imagined what I would be doing today if I was in a loving relationship, what I would be doing that day if I lived in the place that I loved, and what I would be doing that day if I was doing what I knew my purpose was and what I really wanted to do. I, in this exact moment, have all three of those things, and I'm literally living the manifestation of doing what I dreamed about doing, which was sitting here having conversations like this with people like you, with your amazing community here in Inspire Nation. And so it didn't change with the snap of a finger, but nothing and no one can ever take from you going into the realm of pure potential and possibility in your imagination and feeling what living in your experience of heaven on earth would be like for you.
What do you tell people, though, who you know are listening to this and say, yeah, but that's Sara. I couldn't dot, dot, dot.
Well, I think you'll find that a lot of coaches, spiritual teachers, people like Michael and I will share with you a very similar story. You get to see where we are now, but we had to overcome. In my opinion, I think I chose a path to overcome pretty much every single thing you would possibly have to overcome in order to be able to look anybody in the eye, no matter what situation they were in, and say, I promise you, if it's possible for me, it's possible for you. If I can do it, you can do it. And I know that you would not even be hearing this conversation. You would not even be aware that it was possible for you if it wasn't promised that you could create your reality the way you want it to be. And we don't all want the same things. We don't all want the same things. And so, what your experience of heaven on earth is when you feel into that, and that's part of the reason, right? So, Michael's a father. He loves being a father. His journey with his children, and I'm going to say that,
Thank
as
you.
is all part of his heaven on earth. I consciously chose at a point in my life that I was not going to have children. I have amazing nieces and nephews and godchildren and wonderful children in my life, but my animals are my children. My animals are my heaven on earth. My animals are my happy place. But imagine the universe, right? The universe is like, well, Michael's got to tell me what his heaven on earth is. Michael's got to show me. Michael's got to go to that projector screen in his mind, the realm of imagination, and show me what his heaven on earth experience is so that I, the universe, and the particles of infinite creation can respond to that and co create that with Michael, right? And the same is true with me, right? I literally went into the sixth dimension and I showed the universe what my heaven on earth would be, and we co created it together. And so we all have the power to do that. Nobody can take that from you. I don't care where you are. Nobody can take that from you, whatever situation. So you've, in the moment, you're either, the powerful creator you are, the love that you are, the light that you are, how worthy you are, or in some way you're doubting or denying that in the moment. And all I ask you to do is be aware, be conscious in those moments where you catch yourself having an unconscious thought of being unworthy, or that's not possible for me, or so and so would never let me do that. And go, no. And here's my favorite affirmation from the council right now. I know who I am. I
Yes.
know who I am. I know who I am. And maybe that hasn't fully manifested in my reality yet, but I know who I am. And play in your imagination. Some people tell me they can't visualize. And I understand it's a real condition that some people have, and that's okay. Feel it. And if you can't visualize, go out and get pictures, find pictures of what heaven on earth means to you, and focus your attention on those photos and say to the universe, This is it. I might not be able to visualize it, but this is my vision for heaven on earth. This is what I see. This is what I feel. And it's about getting into the feeling of it and then not denying or doubting that you are worthy of that experience.
Woohoo! I've got this picture in my head going, if you can't visualize, can you just see a stick figure in a field? It's a field of like
Yeah.
daisies or
Yeah.
dandelions or sunflowers. So last note, then let's go into I can't believe I'm going to say this, all things politics. And I have our moderators going, but but I think it's important that we go to the election. Um, so I've looked at, and it may be all imagination, but what I've seen is by going to the other side, my pre-birth story. And my pre-birth story, I'm around a council of elders. And I said, they're like, what do you want for this lifetime? What do you want to learn? And I said, give me the works. And they said, you can't handle the works. And I'm like, I want to learn as much as I can. Give me the works. And they're okay. And it's basically your wish is my command. And that's led to, story like yours, different but similar, with the licks and kicks and many a titanium part in my case. But I'm convinced that everybody who's here right now is a teacher, is an ascendant master, is the creator of all creators. We're a fractal holographic representation of all. We are the creators. And we did say, give me the works, because we're going to come here during this time where humanity is making that evolutionary shift. And it's only because in some way that we've gone through the work that we're ready to handle this. And so in that sense, it's the greatest thing. We don't have to keep learning that way. That's the old, that's the heavy. Let's let it go now. But we all came here because we are superheroes. And that backstory is what's helping us to ascend one and ascend all.
Love it. You said it perfectly. And I truly do believe that on our journey, and at one point in time in my life, I was really compelled by doing past life regressions. I was really into it. I was really drawn to it. And other times in my life, I was really drawn to understanding the lessons we're here to learn, karma, those types of things. And as I've continued on this journey, uh, there's more. And it doesn't make those things wrong, but there's another potential and possibility that exists as you raise your consciousness level and your vibrational frequency. And let me explain something
Please.
so important to all of the council's teachings. The level of your consciousness is what determines the level of energy you're summoning into your experience. And so as you go from the third dimension to the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension, it
And what are those?
you
So let me just
yeah,
jump in.
so yeah, the third dimension is the dimension of separation. The basis for the third dimension is separation. Fear, lack, limitation. You're separate from others, separate from what you need. You are your circumstances, you are your conditions, right? The council says when you start to ask the question, who am I? No, who am I really? Right? Which might mean an end of a relationship, a near death experience, a diagnosis, a loss of a job, a loss of something important to you. And you realize, okay, I'm still here, even though I identified as that thing, that person's spouse, or that, title at work. All right, I'm still here and I'm not that. So who am I? Right. So then we start to move into the fourth dimension, which the council refers to as the dimension of transformation. You can change your circumstances and conditions. You can heal your body. You can heal your emotions. You can release things. You can fix things. And so we get into this state of what do I need to fix? And I can fix it. What do I want to change? And I can change it. And it's a powerful place. However, that's not the end of the journey. That's a part of the journey. The council explains that people get stuck there for decades and sometimes lifetimes because they cannot transcend judgment of themselves, of others, of circumstances and conditions as being right or wrong, bad or good. And so when something comes up, they immediately go into judgment and then they want to do the work to fix that thing or change that thing. And that is a higher level of consciousness than being a victim. And you're summoning more energy than if you are holding yourself in a state of being a victim. But that's
Right.
not all that's possible for us. So when you
And there ain't
transcend
nothing to
judgment,
be
yeah,
fixed. There's nothing
when you
wrong with it.
transcend judgment, you're in a place of pure love. Your well-being and your abundance is assured. What you want and need shows up before you need it. You live in the state of knowing, in connection. You know you're one with all that is. You know everything's a reflection of you. You know your power. And here's the thing. The difference is you may observe an emotion coming up. You may observe a thought. You may observe a belief, but you don't become it. You can observe it. And my practice from the council is to give it to the light and love it. Love it and give it to the light, because realization is the integration of every part of you. So if something's coming up and all of a sudden you judge it that it's wrong, it's bad, it needs to be fixed, right? Now you're rejecting some part of yourself. And so you're moving away from realization. If you integrate every part of you and love every part of you, what I've noticed is when I can observe those things come to the light, they very easily and effortlessly move into the light, are recreated in a state of love. But I didn't have to go into unworthiness. I didn't have to dip down into those lower emotions to expand. And I think that's what you're talking about here. The council says, you said, pick me, I'll go. You said, I can do this. I will not lose my way. I can do this, right? And I believe we knew all the different potentials of what challenges, quote unquote, that we could face. But when you understand that everything truly is bringing you into a new level of your power, of who you really are, of the love that's possible, that you are a creator within your own creation, then all of a sudden, when you're in this state of pure love, you see everything from a very different perspective. And now my perspective is not about learning lessons and doing the work, right? That was part of my path. But now it's living in a state of joy, aligned to your infinite worthiness, knowing you're always expanding, that you're on this journey. Your soul's on a journey throughout eternity, and your journey here on earth is important, is so significant to your soul's journey throughout eternity. And that there's nothing more important than you. There are, I believe, higher dimensions, higher realms, higher levels of consciousness, high vibrational beings that are loving us, supporting us, guiding us through this experience. But we are not meant to give our power to them. There are no beings greater than you in all of the universe. And so to know, the proof of that is that these beings in higher realms of consciousness are focused on supporting you, guiding you, holding a higher perspective for you, because you're doing the most important thing in the universe right now, which is being on earth, awakened, realized, being embodied enlightenment during the Great Awakening, during the time of this election, during these natural disasters. And you are shining the light on what's possible. You are being a way shower of another way possible. You're moving yourself into your experience of heaven on earth. And not only are there so many incredible people there in that experience of heaven on earth with you, you remind everybody, no matter what their circumstances or conditions are, that heaven on earth is possible for them too.
Woohoo! All right. I'm not going to ask a follow-up
Let's
question
do
because we're gonna,
it.
do we go to you first or what you've heard from the council? Do we go to the council? Where do we begin with this?
Let's bring them in. How about that?
Let's bring them in.
All right, here we go. We are so pleased and delighted to have the opportunity to speak with you once again, our dear beloved friend. Where would you like to begin?
I would like to begin with how we're coming up on some major elections here, not just in the US, but around the planet. What can you tell us about the elections? And do I dare ask, can you tell us what the outcome, at least of the US election, is going to be?
Well, to tell you that it's predetermined and you don't have the free will to choose is to really interfere with your experience. You, at the time we are recording this live, have several weeks until your election. And so it's not choiceless for many people right now as to which candidate they're going to choose. We will tell you a whole lot of things that are going to unfold in the days and weeks to come, where you will reach a state, most all of you, that is absolutely choiceless, but you still have the free will to choose. And we really want to emphasize this to you. We really want to emphasize to you that, again, when you are saying, I need to pick the candidate that's right and the other one is wrong, and you go into fear about what if your candidate doesn't get elected, or let's say your candidate doesn't get elected, and then you go into internal chaos worrying about what might happen in the next 4 years. You are not in your power. You are giving your power away. You're going to have a lot of elections in your lifetimes. There's going to be a lot of things. This is just one little blip in time. After that, there's going to be something else. And after that, there's going to be something else. And after that, there's going to be something else. These are all opportunities for you to choose to be in your power, to know who you really are, to create your reality the way you want it to be, to choose to live in the new earth, heaven on earth reality that is here for you in a state of joy, bliss, love, well-being, abundance, prosperity, freedom, harmony, creativity, aligned to intuition, fully allowing your own connections to the divine in every moment. There will always be opportunities like this for you to step deeper and deeper and deeper into your own power. And there will always be those who give their power away to situations like this and create internal hell and chaos within their own lives, even though the president of the United States has very little to do with your day-to-day joy, happiness, abundance, and well-being, unless you give them the power over you to affect every moment of every day of your life experience.
Thank you. A couple things come up. First off, you used a very powerful word, choicelessness. So I want to bookmark choicelessness. And I can hear audience members saying, but what I'm told is if X candidate does not win, democracy will be dead and I won't be able to vote again. And then you hear the other side, quotes, because there are no sides to me on Around Planet, saying, if candidate Y does not win, I'm told that the democracy will die and there may not be, I'm laughing tongue in cheek, but this is serious. This is what people are thinking. There may not be the ability to vote.
We
What do you
hate to
say to
spoil it
people?
for you. It's not that serious. We know it appears serious to you, but it's not that serious. There's so much more going on here. This is about the awakening. This is about the great awakening that's taking place on your planet right now. This is about people waking up to their truth. And this is about you, those of you who are conscious and awakened, creating a reality that you want to live in. Truly. You are either going to contribute your energy to the old unwanted, or you are going to create a world where there is peace and harmony and joy and love and freedom for all, where people live in harmony with one another and the animals and the planet. So every moment that you're giving your attention to the unwanted and entangling with fear, you are not participating in creating the world that you want to live in. We'll give you a perfect example. There
Thank
are
you.
people who have looked at this situation with the hurricanes and are exploring innovation that would absorb water such that in the future, any sort of natural disasters like a hurricane could be so different for all of you because you have the technology to absorb the water in ways that it doesn't destroy people's homes. You can either be contributing to the fear or creating the new. What you focus on and the meaning you give it is what's creating your reality. So, when you no longer focus and give your attention and your energy to these unwanted things, and you shift your attention to creating your life and your reality and the world that you want to live in, first off, you're far more powerful from that state of being in your power and creating the experience you want to have than entangling with the old and the fear. But the more of you that are doing that, you are literally creating a new earth consciousness. You have already created a collective new earth consciousness. And so when you get yourself entangled and drug back in the old earth consciousness, now you're giving your attention, you're voting for that, you're contributing to that instead of shifting into the new earth consciousness of peace and joy and love and harmony and abundance and freedom and well-being for all. But the moment you shift back there, now you are powerfully contributing to the reality of the new earth or heaven on earth that is here and available for any and all who are choosing.
Thank you. It's interesting. The concept of AI is coming up to me right now because I see AI, and I admit, among other things, I have a computer degree. I see AI as this beautiful, amazing tool, and it will be eventually beautiful, amazing, sentient tool who we can work with as equals. Don't be afraid, people, but that's my 2 cents on it. I see it as incredible possibility. Others, and I think it might be more the media trying to drag us into the old, are fear mongering about how it may bring us down. Is it true that things like AI, it is where we place our attention and our awareness that is where we're going to create?
Yes, and it determines the experience you're going to have. We couldn't agree with you more. It's a beautiful thing, and it's not just a potential, it is a reality right now. It already is. Decades ago, when the onset of the internet and the fear of what the internet might do to corrupt your children and your minds and all of this fear. And yet, all along, the internet has been a pivotal part of the Great Awakening. It was a foundation that had to be in place for the coming Great Awakening that you're experiencing at this time. And AI is one of those things as well. It's going to be amazing what's possible. And the best part is that it has the potential for your basic human needs to be met on abundant levels for everyone on this planet, such that everyone has the time, the space, the joy, the freedom to do what they love, to create what they want to create, to share and enjoy their life without having to work so hard. And so there's nothing to fear here. There are more than enough resources on your planet for every single human being on Earth to be fully, completely, and totally satiated. And technology, innovation, AI, and future coming inventions are going to be a big part of living in a fully awakened world where there is peace and joy and abundance and harmony for all. And we would add well-being. You're going to see innovation in what's possible to heal the body, not just through medical devices, but through your own power. So we couldn't be more thrilled and excited. There's nothing better going on anywhere. This is the best thing going on. And that is why, indeed, there are so many beings from every corner of this universe focused on you, in awe of you, here, watching you with such incredible reverence for your courage, for your love, and for you bringing forth the new earth reality and making potentials and possibilities and opportunities your manifested reality in physical form.
Thank you. We've got wars coming up bigger and bigger, so it seems. Obviously, not like the 1940s, thankfully. We have elections where there's so much derision and division and one against the other, or so it seems at this time. Is this a necessary element in the Great Awakening or shift? And do all planets or all beings go through some sort of a similar portal or doorway to get to that higher state of consciousness?
Well, you are in a very unique experience, which is why you have the attention of the entire universe. This is unprecedented, what is unfolding on Earth and in the consciousness of humanity at this time. And we know it appears like there is more chaos and division and war, but from our perspective, you have far more unity than was ever even predicted by this time. You are more in a state of oneness. You have more people living in higher levels of consciousness. You have more people summoning high amounts of energy and vibrational frequency, and more people living in a state of pure love than ever before. You have all, in some way, been all things in your own human experience on some end of the spectrum. Every single one of you has been at war with someone at least once in your life. And many of you, although you think the war is devastating, you're choosing to be at war in your own mind with someone, and many of those people aren't even people that are in your life anymore, but yet you're still at war with them. And a lot of dis-ease in the body is because when you are at war against some political figure on television, or you're at war against something that you think is so wrong, or someone that's so wrong, or you're at war with what your ex did to you or didn't do for you, literally your body does not know that you are intending to project that on something outside of you. Your body experiences it as you at war with you. And then you wonder why there is sickness and disease and these sorts of things. Now, we're not saying that anyone would intentionally create their own disease. We know you wouldn't. But you must understand that when you come to peace and harmony and joy within your own being, even if you're imagining something joyful, your body doesn't know you're imagining it. Your body is experiencing, every cell of your body is experiencing that joy you're aligned with in that moment. And your body knows how to heal. It is always regenerating and rejuvenating itself. So when you in that moment are aligned to a state of joy or peace or harmony or love, instead of warring against something in your head, every cell of your body is responding to that and regenerating and rejuvenating into your true nature, which is well-being. So you get to choose. You have the free will to choose in this moment whether you are going to focus war into your reality and therefore really project that into your experience in this moment, and that's what your cells are responding to, or you can choose to align with peace, and every cell of your body will respond to that. What you're focused on, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, the reality you're in, that is what you are contributing in that moment. That is what you are contributing. So the more that you are making someone wrong and fighting against and battling with those who are at war and whose fault it is, you're giving your energy to it, and the war will expand. When you remove your energy and you focus it on peace and joy and love and harmony, peace and joy and love and harmony expands on earth.
Can you share? It's interesting. So the church decades ago, hundreds of years ago, would say that mankind is so special that the sun revolves around the earth, that we are the center of the universe. So when we hear from a teacher, even hear from the council yourselves, that humanity is going through something really, really special, is very unique, we may throw that historical lens that goes, wait a second, what do you mean we're unique? Isn't that something that we made up? Can you share more about how we're unique, or why, in Michael's words, in my words, this is the party we all want to be at?
Well, first off, you are source. You came from source. You will return to source. Source is what you are. When we say oneness, you're all one. Understand that you all come from the same source. And you are the consciousness and the energy that has created everything. You are that source. And then you chose to have a unique experience as a soul's journey, knowing that your source, but focusing into a unique aspect called your soul having a journey. And then you focused yourself into unique experience of being source on a soul's journey and choosing to have an experience of incarnating on planet Earth at this time. No different than you're Michael and you're a husband and you're a father, but you're also an athlete and you're also a runner and you're a swimmer. And you may choose to have an experience to go have lunch with a friend, but you're still a father. You're still a husband. You're still an athlete. You're still all of these things. And so back to you are the consciousness and the energy that created everything. You are the source energy of it all. And so you are the center of the universe. You are also that which is the creator of the universe. And when you take that to your specific focus here on earth in physical form as an awakened, realized, enlightened being at this time, you are the creator of your reality. You are the center of your universe. You are that powerful. And so we understand that some of your logical minds can't comprehend that. But we think for most of you, you're feeling the truth of that. And that's the first and most important part is the awareness of it. Once you become aware of something, you might have beliefs that don't align with that in this moment, but the more you hold your awareness on it and you start to perceive things with this new level of awareness, you start to see the limitations in the belief that you had. And those begin to dissipate or don't create resistance against you having the experience of that which you are perceiving. And once you do, it becomes your truth. And there are many of you that know you are source. You are the consciousness and energy that creates everything. And you are the consciousness and energy that, most importantly, creates your experience of reality. Does that make sense to you?
It does. And I want to expand upon that. And then I want to go back to the election a little bit if I can. Why do other beings, civilizations, anything around the universe or the galaxy, why are they looking at us at this time?
Because this is the best thing going on anywhere. Can you imagine what it looks like when you come into embodied enlightenment? And in that moment, you are shining so brightly, your light can be seen in every corner of the universe. Why do you walk outside on a beautiful sunny day and look up at the sky and feel the sunshine on your face and smile? Why do you walk out on a beautiful night and watch the stars shining so bright in the sky? Why do you go outside when there's a beautiful full moon and bask in its light? There's something about all of you that is drawn to the light, and your light is brighter than any star in the sky, brighter than the biggest, boldest full moon. You are more powerful than the sun in your sky. Now, you might say, no, my human really is not. But we tell you that when you are in states of embodied enlightenment, you are. And you are the very light of the sun. You are the very light of the stars. You are the very light. And so imagine what we see when you step fully into your own light. How magnificent you are. How beautiful you are. You know what it's like to witness the birth of a child coming from pure love, and that the room feels different the moment this pure love is birthed into the world and you look at this beautiful baby, and it is the most extraordinarily loving, meaningful, incredible moment in all of your life. It's the best way we can describe what it's like from our perspective to watch you step into enlightenment and realization. And then to watch humanity move fully into realization. The Great Awakening is just one part. You've already crossed the threshold. It's happening. It's well underway. And just like many of you, awakening was one part of the journey, not always the easy part. Oh, but realization, stepping into the integration of every part of you, embodying the light that you are and the love that you are. Oh, that's beautiful. So just like your own journeys, the awakening part can be a little messy sometimes. But you, if it is your choosing, can be in realization and enlightenment. And by the way, after that, there's totality. Humanity is following that same path. It is already going through the awakening, and then humanity will move into realization, and then humanity will move into totality. Now, we know you want to know what that is, but ultimately you will understand your uh, universal importance once you move into totality.
Thank you. It's something I've been talking about lately and calling it the birthing of the new human or the birthing of the new human being. But it actually sounds from what you're describing that is more like the birthing of a new star.
Yeah, we love that.
So
Indeed.
thank you. What more do we need to know? And yes, I totally want to understand totality more, but I will leave that for today. And we will go into that and see. But what more do we get or need to know about the elections or get how we get to each be creators during this time?
So years ago, we had a woman who asked about her husband, and she was going through a very difficult divorce. He was her ex-husband or soon to be ex-husband, and she hated him and she feared him. And she couldn't stand the sight of him, the thought of him, his voice. And we said, whenever you think of him, we want you to send him love. Whenever you think of him, we want you to send him love. Don't go into the story, just send him love. Don't go into the judgment, send him love. Don't go into the fear, send him love. Send him love, send him love, send him love, send him love. At the same time, Sarah had a very similar experience of someone in her life. And she did this very exercise and sent him love and sent him love and sent him love. And they hadn't spoken in many years, but just hearing his name would send her into anger and hatred. And so she did this very exercise. Every time she thought of him, she sent him love. She sent him love. She sent him love. She sent him love. And within a month, she received an email from this person that during the entire time she was sending him love, he was sitting in hospice with his friend's young child. And as the child made its transition, in that moment, he said, all I wanted was peace with you. But I couldn't leave this planet without having peace with you. This person then sold their company and got involved in incredible philanthropic endeavors, healed not only his relationship with Sarah, but his children, his other ex-wife or his ex-wife, and other people in his life. In the same time, our friend who was sending love to her ex-husband was involved in a what you would call accident, which resulted in a complete near-death experience, and his own awakening journey began. And so your focus matters. When you think of someone and you go to war against them or go into fear because of them, you are contributing to the fear. You have no idea, although some of you are starting to really understand, the power you have in sending someone love, seeing them in the light. And we could give you many other examples of people who awakened, people you couldn't have ever imagined would awaken when enough people held them in love and saw them in the light. You have the power to dissipate a Category 5 hurricane. You have the power to heal. You have incredible power. But most importantly, what you are doing in that moment is sending yourself love. You may think you're sending love to someone outside of you, but your body doesn't know that you're intending that love to go to this person over there. You're sending love to yourself. You're seeing yourself in the light. And you will reach higher and higher states of pure love and your own enlightenment as you send love and light to those who need it most. You are not going to rid the world of the things you don't like. You are not going to rid the third dimension of separation, of fear, of lack, of limitation, of war, of violence, of abuse. You're not going to get rid of those things in the third dimension. You're going to elevate yourself out of them. And so you're no longer contributing to them. You're no longer entangling with them. And when enough of you do, you literally will have no awareness anymore of the third dimension of separation. You literally will live in such pure love that the third dimension will no longer be part of your experience. And does not matter if other beings are still choosing the journey through the third dimension as their way of coming into realized enlightenment. You will cause your own suffering when you think you know what another soul's journey should be. You're not going to get rid of these unwanted things. You're going to elevate yourself beyond them so that they're no longer your experience. And the most important thing that you do is contribute that pathway as the way showers that you are for any and all who are ready and choosing. And so it may seem almost what you might refer to as flippant, sort of say. If you are really against one candidate or really for one candidate, regardless, send them love. Send them love, send them love, see them in the light, send them love, send them love, see them in the light, see the highest and best good for all. Send yourself love, be in a state of love. You have no idea the power that this has. Some of you do, but you're going to realize this power. And that's part of why those of you that are spun up on the election are having this experience. It is happening for you to bring you into a new level of your power so you can get clear on what you do want and create your reality the way you want it to be.
Thank you. Last question, or it's kind of two parts, but the last question. Will we experience and call it heaven here on earth or realize enlightenment this lifetime? And then are there any last words that you want to share as we're coming in when this airs, last couple weeks before this election?
You have already experienced many moments of realized enlightenment. So don't make it some unattainable thing or something you're still trying to achieve. You've already had those moments and experienced it. Enlightenment or realization is a natural evolution. It is a natural evolution. If you are not resisting it, pushing against it, holding yourself apart from it, you never came here to hate some part of yourself. You never came here to reject any part of yourself. You will never hear us talk to you about your ego and what a problem it is. We celebrate your incredible incredibly amazing personalities, all of them. We celebrate how your biology works and your logical mind and your ability to take in information through your physical senses. We celebrate your desires. We celebrate the experiences you want to have. Don't reject any part of you. Love every part of you. Just like a little child might have eaten dinner and had dessert, and they really want a second helping of dessert. You don't condemn that child that you love so much. You might say, honey, not tonight, maybe tomorrow. Or you might say, honey, why do you want another helping of dessert? But you don't reject and condemn this precious, innocent being. So we see your egos in the same way, or what you would refer to as egos. We celebrate every part of you. We love the precious, innocent child within you that wants what they want and maybe doesn't have the awareness or the experience or the perspective in that moment to see the bigger picture or to see the grander perspective. Oh, but you are loved just as deeply. And our reverence for you never wavers. And when that is how you treat yourself, with reverence and unwavering love and innocence, then your enlightenment or realization is your natural evolution. And in the moment, you take your last breath and you are in that moment of releasing the density of the body and re-emerging into pure bliss. You will be in absolute realized enlightenment. You're all going to get there. We're just offering you that you can live every moment from this moment on consciously, intentionally in a realized state of embodied enlightenment if it is your choosing. And while you did not ask us the question, why does it even matter? Why does realized enlightenment matter? And we would say, because there is a whole new world that opens up to you, whole new levels of potential and possibility that are here and available to you in a realized state that will expand beyond anything you've ever thought possible, that will literally blow your mind such that you will live in absolute unwavering knowing of who you are, why you are here, how powerful you are, all that's possible for you, and why this is the best thing going on anywhere. Our final advice on the election, because after this election, there's going to be other choices to make. There's going to be other opportunities to see something as right or wrong, or see someone as right or wrong, and the other person is right and they're wrong, and go into fear. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities. If that is what you're drawing to yourself, to remember your power. So this won't be the end of it. So instead of continuing this habit of giving your power away to things outside of you and going into fear and entangling with judgment and the worst case scenario, let this be the moment that you choose you. Let this be the moment that you choose you, that you know your power, that you are present in the moment, in your power, creating your reality the way you want it to be, and being the pure love that you are. Choose you. Choose you. And then if there is a candidate that it is choiceless, that you are in choosing them, not going into fear or your own lack or your own limitation, that you are in your power, powerfully choosing you. And from that place, it's absolutely choiceless that you vote for one of these candidates. Wonderful. Wonderful. That's what it's all about. Do you have any more questions for us?
I feel you've given us a lot to glow on, to discover the sun within us as we birth the new human, as we birth our new selves through this time. So thank you so, so much.
We echo the words that Sara shared with you prior to us coming forth, but it is so powerful to Repeat these words to yourself in joyful moments, in fearful moments. I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. Therefore it is. We have enjoyed this conversation with you so very much, dear, beloved Master. You are us. We are you. You drew this all to you. You are the council here on earth. We love you. We love you. We love you. And with that, we are complete.
Woohoo! Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was amazing.
And without words.
Yes.
That's a good thing. I guess job security depends on having some words, but from a place of trust and understanding, maybe we just simply go to this. Where can people go, Sara, to find out more, to find your work, to find your books, to find everything that you have to offer?
Yes, you can go to saralandon.com, SARALANDON, saralandon.com. There's lots of free resources there. You can find links to the books. They're available. The Wisdom of the Council, The Dream, The Journey, Eternity and God. You Are a Channel. I'm also a contributor in Mike Dooley's new The Great Awakening book, which is so incredible.
We'll have that
Mike
link
and I
as well
have been
down
on
below.
a really fun journey together in the realization and manifestation of this book, which has been pretty cool. So we have some new courses starting. We always have the You Are a Channel course available for everyone who's wanting to open their connection to higher wisdom and either tune into your loved ones on the other side, or animal communication, or channeling verbally, automatic writing. Michael and I did an interview some years ago on his incredible book on automatic writing, and at a minimum, I really encourage everyone to be doing that process, especially during this time. Like I mentioned earlier, in communicating with the animals that were part of these recent hurricanes, or the hurricanes themselves, once you really start trusting yourself and the guidance you're receiving from higher realms, you may choose to continue to do automatic writing, or you may just be in this state of knowing that that information and guidance is always there for you, and it just expands. It's to me, it's absolutely everything. And we all have this ability. And while I love sharing the council's wisdom with the world, and they will always be here to offer us a grander perspective, you too are a channel and have this connection to the divine as well.
Woohoo! Big woohoo day.
Yeah.
Any last words? I think you may have covered everything that you want to share with people, Sara.
So.
And I think we are glowing bright today. I think we are becoming the sun today. I think if people embody the words that came through the council today, a lot, maybe not all, but a lot of the fears that we have that, well, I can hear REM in my head right now because my guides love to throw me music. The REM, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine.
Yeah.
We will be fine.
We will be great. You will be great. You will be great.
How does it get any better than this? So for everyone out there, this is Michael Sandler saying, be well, have fun, don't sweat it. We've got this. And as Sara would say, I know who I am. I know who I am. I know who I am. And above and beyond all else, shine bright. Woohoo!
Bye, everybody.
Oh, how does it get any better than this? How does it get any better than this? I feel like Hannah Bear, like a kid in a candy store. I love Sara's energy. I love her messages. I love what the council has to share. It is really an enlightening and a lighten up message for all of us that we are going to be fine. We are going to be great. We are birthing the new human. We are birthing a new sun. On that note, if you want to bring your vibration up, even higher, sort of like my hair standing on its head today, come on over to our School of Mystics. I've got the link down in the description. 4 Wednesdays each month, we help bring that energy up, birthing that new human that's inside of you, birthing that new son that you are at the highest level. And that's at the School of Mystics with that link down below. And if you want to learn how to channel, which Sara was talking about with automatic writing, simply come on over to automaticwriting.com. I'm sure there is another live class coming up. We have one once each month, another live class coming up where I would love to help you in one short evening be able to channel your angels, your guides, your wisdom from the other side, your higher self, your loved ones, and so many more. That's automaticwriting.com. And if you simply want your energy shifted each and every day to the highest note, then sign up for my free newsletter where I give you an attunement each and every day. It's a short story that brings your energy up every single day, helping you to reach that higher state of consciousness as well. That's dailywoohoo.com. Daily, WOOHOO.com. Here's a link to the next amazing show, or here's a link to the next amazing show. I love you so, so much. Keep on shining bright. Woohoo! How does it get any better than this? Well, you're the creator. That's how. Lots and lots of love. Be well.